this podcast, we talk about the true nature of men. The true nature of the human male. We talk about their true nature. We talk about their true intentions and motivations in dating and engaging with women. We talk about their tactics and what they do to try to manipulate and to gaslight. We go deep into all of these things. We talk about all of this stuff. And I talk about it in general on my social media. And there's one question that I receive all the time whenever I talk about the true nature of men, the true nature of the human male, the true nature, their true intentions behind dating and being in relationships and marriage. Whenever I talk about that, I always get one question. And it goes something to the effect of, well, now that we know all this, now that we know, okay, that it's not women who trap men with pregnancy, it's men who trap women with pregnancy. Now that we know that men actively go out of their ways to make their partners, their wives and girlfriends crazy, doing little tiny things to keep them off their game, like that clip that we played last week. Go check it out, of the man admitting that. Now that we understand that, now that we know that, that men don't see relationships in the same way that we do, that they see them more in a utilitarian way than we do, not in the fantastical romance way. Now that we know that, where do we go from here? How do you date knowing this about men in the modern era in 2025? And I want to answer that question because it's a question that comes up a lot when we talk about the true nature of a man. I mean, the next logical question is, well, how do we deal with them moving forward? How do we date men knowing what we know about them in 2025 in the modern era? And so I'm going to answer that question for you. Ladies, now that we live in the era of information and we know the truth about these males and how they really behave and their true nature and what they really want from you in a relationship, their true intentions. Now that we know this, the information is being readily spread amongst us. If you want to date in 2025, here is how you do it. Number one, and I'm going to touch your hand when I say this because you're not going to want to, you're not going to like the answer. You're not going to like what I have to say next. The way you date men in 2025, knowing everything we know now about their true nature. Number one, you don't. I told you didn't want to hear it. I told you didn't want to hear it. The clear and obvious answer is you don't. You stay far away from them. You keep your distance. Now that you know the truth, you keep far, far away from these motherfuckers. You don't date them, period. You use all of that energy that you would have used for dating and for marriage and finding the one and a family, and you use it to build yourself and your own life. And if you choose to have children, build up your children. Don't date. That's the answer. Be single. That's how you date men in 2025, knowing all that we know about them now from discussions on the internet and the truth coming out and women being able to share their stories with each other unencumbered. You don't. And I hate to break it to you, but that is the answer. You just don't. You gotta let them go, girl. You gotta decenter them motherfuckers from your life. You got to be okay with being single, because the truth is, being single 99.86432% of the time is better than being with these motherfuckers. That's a fact. That's science. But I know y'all don't want to hear that, right? You don't want to hear that the truth, the answer is knowing what we know now about men and their true intentions and their true nature. The answer to how do we date moving forward is you don't date. That's the answer. But I know y'all don't want to hear that. So I'm going to give you the answer for if you're one of those ladies who just needs to learn the hard way. You're one of those people who's like, you know what? I need to smash my face in the ground at least 5 times before I decide maybe the ground is stronger than I am. So look, so I'm going to give you, like I said, your best bet is not to date these men at all. That's your best bet. But if you really still want to be dating in 2025, knowing the truth about these males' true nature, if you really want to be dating, then all right, I'm going to break down how you need to be dating in 2025, knowing all of the stuff that we know now. Okay? Number 1, only date men with money and resources. Period. Full stop. If you must date in 2025, ladies, if you really need that, yeah. And you really need to date, you can't, you despite hearing all the bullshit, seeing all the bullshit, you still want to be with these motherfuckers, then make sure that you only date men who are rich and have resources. Do you understand me? And I'm going to tell you exactly why you do that. Women are a blessing to men. There is an energy exchange that occurs when women come into a man's presence, and that energy benefits the man way more than it benefits the women. Men drink up our energy like energy vampires. I mean, let's keep it 100. We create blessings in men's lives. Just being in our presence energizes these motherfuckers, okay? Just being in our presence energizes them. And then actually involving ourselves with them, becoming in a relationship with them, we are constantly enhancing men's lives. That is the nature of the woman, okay? You bring us something and we will multiply that. Okay, we are an asset. We literally benefit these men just by being in their presence. There's a reason why when you get onto an elevator and there's plenty of fucking space, but that guy who was on there first doesn't move and backs you into a corner so that you have to be practically pushed up on him, even though there's all this other space, and he puts himself directly in a location that no matter what part of the elevator you stand on, you still gonna be practically pressed up against him. And the reason why he won't move and he stays in your personal space is because even the strangers on the street benefit from your feminine energy. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why these motherfuckers be pushing up on you in public spaces, because they're drinking up the energy. And I know y'all is like, oh, not y'all. I know the men who are watching. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't worry. I'm going to prove it. Don't worry. But I just want to reiterate, ladies, our energy is like, it's like, imagine a drug. Imagine cocaine. Okay, imagine cocaine, but cocaine that also has like vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it. That's what women are to men. That's what we provide to them. They be getting high off of our energy, and that shit nourishes them. And not just our energy, but we physically will help them build their lives, create their legacy, right? And I know that a lot. I know I'm gonna get pushback. But that's okay, because I got something for that. All right. This is a clip of this guy who breaks down how men be feeding off our energy. Listen, y'all, and this is a man. I always like to get things from the horse's mouth, because when a woman says it, y'all don't believe us.